retirement. And you just have to start, without, picking on Nike. You got to just do it,
Right. And a lot of times, too, that impulse shopping, I have since licked that habit, but I just don't go to the store.
Yeah, that's how I am. Because I
don't buy bread. And,
And I read something else. You develop like a 30-day rule. Okay, you decide, I think I need to replace my couch. Okay, now give yourself 30 days to think about it and just dwell on it. And 30 days later, if you still feel that passionately about replacing your couch, then do it and be done with it and move on. But every time I've adopted that, I thought, I need to replace my couch. Inevitably, 80% of the time, I'm like, that was crazy. I could use that money and do this or that.
Yeah, because that's not cheap.
No. And I was easily, attracted to just replacing it and get instant gratification. Where, I stew about things a little bit longer and don't spend as much.
So you kind of sleep on it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That does. A lot of things change. In 30 days, a lot of things would change.
Yes,
even the color eyeshadow that you went. Your hair is totally different in 30 days.
That's for sure.
Yeah, mine looks good for about a week out of. Every time I get it cut, oh my God, I love it.
Oh, I know.
30 days later.
No, I know. When I get my
hair you'll never have that same cut again.
No, I always tell my hairdresser, just make me look perfectly average. She's like, why? I'm like, you can't make me look glamorous. And then I go out into the world because people are not going to recognize me. This is not how I look. Don't go to great lengths here. Just average. How did I come in here looking? Send me back out kind of the same way. It's like, you don't want to get really dolled up.
Right.
No, because people won't recognize me.
Right. What did you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this now.
Yeah.
Give me 5 minutes. Yeah, so that's really fun. So it's been very fun having you here.
Why, thank
I can't
you.
believe it's been almost an hour already.
Oh, my goodness.
It's been 47 minutes. But I'm going to take all your information down before you leave, and when I put this online, your information will be in there. So people, this is important, ladies, and it's important for you for so many reasons. Like Tammy said, when you are worried about stuff, it doesn't matter what you're worrying about. Money is like a really big issue.
Yes.
It does manifest itself in different ways. It manifests in your mood.
Yep.
Illnesses, everything. Worry is not good.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that you have to have a lot of money.
Right.
It means that you have to make the best of what you have and what you're earning now.
Absolutely. Yep. There's a lot of simple things that you wouldn't think are a big deal, by like having an emergency fund, for example. It's not like you have to have a ton of money in there, but emergencies come up. When my kids were little, we lived paycheck to paycheck, and we didn't worry about emergencies. We can't control what we don't know, and we're just going to have faith. Well, the times when the emergencies did come up, because they happen, it would have changed our lives had we just set aside a little bit of money, $10 a week, whatever, to be able to handle that situation.
Instead of freaking out, oh my God, now what are we going to do?
Exactly. I have friends who they put money aside, and before long they had about $8,000 just sitting in an emergency fund. And consistently they kept contributing to it, and sure enough, they needed a new air conditioner, or their son ended up taking a trip to the emergency room and they had to pay a deductible, and that all these things that came up that would have normally sent them in a tailspin, but because they had set money aside, they were equipped to handle that situation. So when you feel in control... Right.
It makes it easier to deal with any kind of emergency, right?
Yep.
When you know that little cushion's there. Very true. So if you were to give, let's say that a woman, because this is a women's talk show, and men, I know that you can go through the same thing. Your situation has just changed dramatically. Maybe I'm going to paint a scenario for you, and then I want you to talk to that woman.
Okay.
And so I've had the same job for 20 years. And my company's downsizing. Okay. And my job is being eliminated.
Okay.
they've offered me a buyout, but it's a fraction of what I would have made had I continued working.
Okay.
What can I do?
Well, it sounds like staying there is not even an option. You have to start over and do something else. So, yeah, if the buyout isn't an option, you need to take that. But you can roll over what retirement income you have or whatever other plan you have set up with them and invest it. And then pretend like it's not there. Find your new job and start saving again. Take that money, put it away, and let it grow. And then rebuild. I mean, if they're not going to offer you an opportunity to stay there, you have to start all over somewhere else. It's not the end of the world. You know, at least you got the buyout. You know, this actually happened to a cousin of mine recently. And she, you know, got a buyout from the company. She had a 401k there. She rolled it into a retirement account and then did a job search and started over somewhere else. But I mean,
the trick is pretending like that money. That was
not there.
Good word of advice. Yes,
because a lot of people would take that money and live off of it for a while, but there's a tax consequence that comes as a result of that.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Right.
Or I had one friend that was changing jobs, and she had quite a bit of money in her 401k, and she was going to pay off her car with it.
Yep. I get that question a lot, like, should we pay off the mortgage, take money out of our investment account or our IRA and pay off our mortgage so that we have that payment done? We don't have to worry about it anymore. Well, typically your interest rate on your mortgage is going to be much less than what the interest rate you've been earning on those investments. Plus, your mortgage interest is a tax write-off for you. It's a deduction that you can take from your income taxes every year. So it doesn't make sense. However, some people in a higher rate mortgage, it would make sense to do that. So it's not a bad thing to evaluate all those things, but
the thing is, if you have somebody else look at it, they can look at it more objectively than you can.
Yep.
You're thinking of it as, well, our example might be thinking of paying those bills off because she would have less money going out every month.
True.
But like you said, and especially mortgages, you're having to pay a penalty for taking that money, and you're losing that tax write-off. So potentially that could be quite an expensive little venture there that you don't necessarily have to take.
Right. And, and again, it depends on, what her future is going to look like with the new job. Does she need to make adjustments with her spending, But, yeah, I wouldn't use that money. I mean, it's tempting.
It is, yeah.
But if you can forget that it's there and just let it grow and continue to just rebuild your life without having to rely on that, that's the way to go.
Very good. So if you are at a crossroads, something has happened to you, whether it be divorce, a death, a job loss, a job change, a downgrade in pay, whatever, or maybe you're going from full-time to part-time.
Right.
Any changes like that are a good time to sit down with a person like you.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
Or especially you.
Right.
Right.
Well, and, like you mentioned, divorce, it's, such a huge turning point in somebody's life, and they're thinking emotionally. They're not thinking practically. And maybe they're getting part of, a spouse's retirement plan or, equity in the house or whatever. And then they make a new financial decision with those assets in mind, rather than having somebody take a neutral, evaluation of the situation. Say, it still would make interest to keep the house, but this is what you should do with the retirement. Or, people make decisions emotionally when you're in that situation.
Which is understandable, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. You have a parent die and you have an inheritance, and I've known people that have taken that inheritance and just blown it on, I'm going to be a business owner. They've never been a business owner before in their life. Or I'm going to buy a brand new car. And the depreciation on a brand new car is ridiculous. But they're so emotional about the situation, just not making a good decision. So.
Right. And that's understandable. And that's why you need a consultant, somebody, an accountability buddy, whatever you want to call you.
Right.
It's a really good time because it's nice to have that input, and it's not like a person has to do what you say,
Right.
But to
Right.
even see another point of view, even if you sit down and like have a brainstorming,
Right.
Well, this is what I want to do. Well, here's how to do it,
Right.
And I may not. I'm one of those big picture kind of people that. Okay, this is what I want,
Right.
but I want it now.
Right.
And I don't think about all those steps to
Yep.
get there.
Yep.
And that you would help.
Yeah. And
Outline
I
that,
can't say
yeah.
that I've always been like, oh, let's wait to do this, let's wait to do that. I haven't always been that way in life, you know. I have a big birthday coming up next year, and I'm going to spend a lot of money to celebrate my birthday.
Good for you.
Well, thank you. But I'm also planning it.
Right.
And I'm, budgeting what we're going to spend on the hotel, what we're going to spend on airfare, what we're going to spend.
Where are you
sightseeing.
going?
New York City.
Oh, how fun. Good
Yeah.
for you.
Well, thank you. I want to take my entire family, so it's going to be a big ordeal. But I've been thinking about it for quite a while and setting money aside, and that's the thing. You can. I looked at hotel rooms. Well, if there's 5 different groups and we each get a hotel room that's $300 a night, that's $1,500 a night. We could rent a place.
Right.
And so I found a place we could rent for $1,000 a night, I mean, but I'm always
How fun.
putting that
Good for
financial
you.
hat on to say, okay, wait a minute,
Right.
Let's take a step back, evaluate what our options are, what's the smartest thing, and like I said, in everything, you need a balance in life, but this can't impact what my long-term goals are.
Right. Right.
So
Excellent. I love that. Why don't you give your name and phone number again? And I think I have one of your cards here, but I'm going to take another card.
Okay.
So that I can put it in our... Ladies, this is really important because you'll feel better. You know how when you put off doing something that you know you should do, whether it's as simple as going to the gym or starting that healthy diet, when you finally do it, how much better you feel, how much better you sleep, how you're nicer,
Yes.
It's not hanging over you anymore. This is one of those things to take control of your finances.
Right.
And that's what Tammy is here to help you with. And again,
my name is Tammy Claramunt, Claramunt. I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones, 702 South Euclid Avenue, Bay City, Michigan, 989-667-0978.
thank you so much. And thank you so much for taking time out of your life to come visit with us.
Absolutely,
And I'm
Deb.
so glad your hair looked good today.
Me too.
And we're going to have you come back again. And I would be very interested. And after the show, we're going to sit down and talk about it, about you having some type of workshops here or something. Because
That'd be great.
I think this is I think as women are gaining more structure financially, I think that they are teaching their daughters to do the same, and
Yes.
hopefully that'll keep going on to where most women are financially stable within themselves. And I think that's happening. I see young women that have taken control, and I really like that. Their moms taught them to do that
Right.
young. My mom did not teach me to do that.
Yeah, my
And
parents didn't teach me how to be financially
It
responsible.
wasn't time yet, I don't think, where women had to take control.
Right.
But now is time.
Yes.
Now is time.
Yep.
And especially with everything that we see happening around us, we never know what's going to... You just never know.
No, and you need to, unfortunately, be selfish in this one area of your life.
And it's okay to be
It's
selfish.
okay to be selfish.
Yes.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that. So hopefully we'll get Tammy on the schedule here starting next year, and because these are all things that we want you to be complete and happy and stable and feel empowered in every part of your life, and that's a really big part. So this is Coach Deb, and you know what? I'm telling you right now to take a look at what's going on around you and not be afraid. Not be afraid to look in the mirror and tell yourself that this is something that you need to take care of. Ignore the hair. Just look at yourself in the eyes and say, it's time that I took control of my own finances, and get a hold of Tammy or whoever you have as a financial advisor. But of course, I'd much rather you call Tammy. And this is Diva Deb signing out for today. Coming next week, I don't even know who we have on next week, but I'm sure it'll be good, but it might not be as funny. So take care and have a really good week.